Okay, should be good.
Off to a bad start. That's.
Thanks for joining here by James Cadden. James, good to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me, John and Stephen. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, no, James, the reason we want to have you on, man, not only are you a close friend of myself and Stephen's, but kind of making...
I don't know about... Yeah, okay. Close friend.
For the purposes of this, yes, we
Close
are
friend.
acquainted. Best friends.
You're making good waves in the Irish comedy scene, man, you know?
Yeah.
You're so funny.
I know this is a difficult one because it's weird to say, yeah, I am. I'm doing so good because it's kind of like it's a level. This is tricky because I don't want to go by saying I'm really funny. I'm being arrogant, but I don't think it's arrogance, you know. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not really doing anything.
Let me just interject there. No,
go on.
I've seen you perform at Whelan's in Dublin.
Yeah.
I've recently seen you perform in the King's Head in Galway.
That's right.
I've seen you perform in some pretty big Irish comedy competitions, I guess is the right term. And myself and Stephen also attended you. You do a local show here in Dundalk.
That's right. I co-run a comedy night in Dundalk with Brian O'Toole and Maddie Malone called Dropout Comedy once a month in No One's Bar.
Here, enough with your self-promotion.
Yeah, but you're plugging, man.
Yeah.
We already sold out, man. We're fucking 2 minutes
it's so
into our
warm,
show.
just on the t-shirt.
No, here.
You're good in stores now.
No, here, James. Like to be honest,
Yeah,
like
go
myself
on.
and Stephen, we know you. Like to us, you're a pretty funny guy, right?
Yeah.
But
Thanks.
like, sort of, you know, I know a lot of funny people, but don't do stand up.
Yeah.
How did what give you the idea? What gave you the inspiration? To go try
Yeah,
stand
I
up?
want to know that.
To be honest, I have always wanted to do stand-up comedy, or just even from early childhood. What I really wanted to be was a comedic actor. I grew up watching Jim Carrey and Robin Williams. That sort of manic energy just really appealed to. I think I would appeal to any child. You know, it instantly grabs your attention, and you're laughing and you're loving it, and so I would try and replicate that. Also, sort of growing up, you know, in rural Ireland in the 90s, I couldn't kick a ball. I wasn't very good at, you know, I was never academically or athletically gifted. So the only thing I ever thought I could contribute to the social setting of school was maybe get a laugh out of people. And even most of the time I couldn't do that. So yeah, it's like, but what eventually got me into it is coming here and sort of I met Brian O'Toole. And I just saw that he was just doing it, and it just, you know, it was just that fear of failure, that initial fear that he just literally kind of smacked me over the head, like, just get over it and do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I was actually a lot of people here advised me to go for it. So it was, to be honest, getting a lot of encouragement from people is what eventually persuaded me to go for it. So thanks, DKIT.
Yeah, so no, just that's really interesting. Like, and how you find it, anyways. Like, what's the experience been like as a whole?
Yeah, I love it, man. It's great. Like, it is. Look, don't get me wrong. It's absolutely nerve wracking. I've been doing it for a year now, and just that moment just before you go on stage is just the most terrifying moment. It's just the heart is going
Still,
90.
a year
Still.
Holy shit.
But even I'll notice when I'm up there. Like, when you tell a joke and it lands, it's a great feeling. But even after a year, I still haven't learned to deal with when a joke doesn't land. And that's something that that's probably the most important thing to learn when you're up there. When you tell a joke and it doesn't go over well, to not let it affect you. But I still haven't got there yet. If a joke doesn't land and I hear sounds of silence, my voice will quiver and my heart will get faster. I'll start shaking, and you know what? It's a visual. My face goes real red. I might as well have "you're fucking up" printed on my forehead. It's just
for everyone
my
to see.
face goes red. No, that's it. He's God. Fuck this guy.
Here, good question, right?
Yeah,
joke doesn't land, right?
Joke doesn't land. Yeah.
Do you just scrap the joke or do you do it again?
That's interesting because it's both.
Okay, right. Give us an example.
Give you an example.
Yeah.
I'll usually find that I've kind of been told, it's not something I was trying to do, but I've been told that I kind of quite dark in terms of my material, the subject matter I tackle. The punchlines are a bit kind of, I have perverse and disgusting and a whole other array of words have been used. So I will kind of, if a joke doesn't land, I'll just, maybe it's a way of convincing myself that the joke's funny, but I'll go, oh, well, they're just a bunch of, PC zombies,
All right.
But
PC's huge right now.
Yeah, it's so in right now. But if I'm confident in the joke, I think it's funny, I'll try it again. But there have been jokes where I've done once, got nothing. It's like, right, scrap that out the window.
Okay.
You got to be careful. You can never be too arrogant. You can never be too arrogant to think, oh, it's the audience that are wrong. I am right.
I think that's a good mentality to have, I think,
yeah,
as a comedian.
no,
That's the way I would do it anyway.
You need somebody there, and I'm lucky that I'm surrounded by people, particularly like close friends from people I've been friends with for years who actually always push me to do it. But I just thought, you guys just like me because you're my friend. But when other people started telling me, so yeah, I needed the validation of strangers, people that I've known my whole life I couldn't give a fuck about.
That's fair enough.
But they're there on hand to tell me, no, James, that joke didn't work.
Okay.
Scrap the joke. And then 9 times out of 10, they're right. So it's good to have that.
And how is the process of writing material? Say if there's someone listening, and they want to maybe give it a shot or whatever like that. What sort of advice would you have?
Everyone has a different process, and I am very undisciplined, I have to admit. I don't think I've ever sat down and tried to write a joke. I've never just sat down with a blank piece of paper and went, all right, time to be funny. It comes naturally.
Yeah.
You're just having thoughts. It's just a thought that, I think as a stand-up, the more you work on it, you'll kind of recognize those thoughts a lot quicker. Go, yeah, there's something. There's a different... That's an interesting thing that I've never heard anyone vocalize.
Right.
If I can take that and make it humorous, then you've got something that's original and funny, and it's inherently you because you thought of it. So you're kind of less likely to be derivative of other comedians, which is a very big problem. Like you can be a derivative of another comedian, or you can be flat out a plagiarist.
That's a big thing. That's a question I was going to have. Is that a fear with everything you would write? I know I would be like, oh shit, has this been used before? It's so good.
Yeah, no, definitely. I got to be. If I think, if I see another comedian do something, I'll make sure to alter it to the point that I want to try to get it as far away as from what they were saying, and that's why you gotta go out, not just watch the big names on the HBO specials. Obviously, you got to watch those for education and for your own personal enjoyment. But you got to go out to the comedy clubs and you have to watch the emerging comedians.
Yeah, because I've seen not from you now, but I've seen plagiarism from other comedians at shows that you've performed at. I'm not going to name any names. Don't get me wrong.
It exists. Yeah,
it exists. Yeah, and you have to wonder: is that is that intentional or is that just pure accidental?
That is the raging debate. Is it, because if you're doing topical humor, everyone's doing stuff about Trump right now. People do stuff about Brexit when it happened. People, topical humor, there's always going to be a clash of, punchlines and bits and gags. But then, and then there's this broad topic, me and my girlfriend, or, hey, ever have sex with someone? These massive broad topics that everyone can relate to. That's the type of humor people go for, the stuff they can relate to.
And you really avoid that, though, in my opinion, because it's very well. It's a great point you made there. Just from going to, ever since I've known you now, I've attended comedy shows with you, and sort of one of the things you always see is it is like that. It is girlfriend troubles or ex-girlfriend or weight issues or appearance issues, and it's
all just me now. He's talking about. Fuck you, John.
But it's not really that case with you. You kind of steer clear of that.
I try to. It's not even a conscious decision, I don't think. I suppose for me, kind of person that I am, the more perverse something is, the funnier I'll find it. So that's what every comedian does. Every comedian, and Jim Jeffries said this really well. He once said, every comedian thinks they're the greatest comedian in the world because they're doing the jokes that they want to hear. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm doing the kind of material that if I saw somebody do, I'd laugh.
Yeah.
So it's narcissism off the scale. But I think maybe because I'm such a perverse individual, the type of stuff I do very rarely gets used. Or maybe I'm just not that good and people are, no one has plagiarized me yet. So I think that's... I'm not good enough to... Oh, no,
I'm not copying that.
That's terrible. Oh.
And what's
what a hack.
What's the end goal with the comedy? Are we looking at you hoping to maybe turn professional stand-up or maybe comedy writing?
Just to have sex with someone would be... That's pretty much... That's it. That's all I got for you. You're probably looking for a really profound answer. Well, I want to plumb the inner depths of my soul and try to
change
peel
the world
away
with my
the layers.
laughter.
Yeah, no, I just want to fuck someone.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well,
no, that's not true. Sorry. I gave up on that a long time ago. No, look. because comedy is just something that I've always enjoyed, and to be honest, again, not to sound arrogant, it's the only thing I felt I was ever any good at. It's the only thing that has ever elevated me above anyone else around me.
That's a very deep assertion of yourself, though, isn't it? Like, that's a deep, yeah, like it's.
I'm not, I didn't do well in school. I'm not good at sports. I don't know anything about cars. I have no skills. Like, I'm not, I'm not like a handyman. I can't do anything. I actually can't do anything. It's tragic. It's a terrible. I grew up on a farm surrounded by like very like these like men that were like really good with their hands. They could like build machinery and they could farm the land, and I'm just there like, oh guys, wouldn't it be funny? Did you ever notice the rainbow? And you're just like, oh man, what's going on here? Would you fucking just do some work? No, I didn't.
Just take me back there, though. Like you kind of said like you grew up on a farm, right?
Yeah.
That's like maybe I'm completely mistaken here, but I just always seen comedy as a very urban city scene.
Yeah.
Like it's a big scene in Dublin, big scene in Galway, even though small towns here like Dundalk, Drogheda, so on. But you say you're from a small farm, like that's like what impacts that had?
I kind of sort of growing up in the 90s is when the sort of the huge wave of sort of Americanization of culture and Ireland, Celtic Tiger, post-Celtic Tiger, basically you're walking through Dublin, you could have been walking through like New York, just with the way people are talking and behaving, but like so much like so many shows like American television and film completely dictated the broadcasting over here, if you know what I mean. Like we're
definitely,
getting all the sitcoms,
television,
like Friends, Seinfeld, Scrubs, Frasier, like
everybody loves Raymond.
Yeah, like
I hate that show.
But I was very lucky. You're actually very fortunate because you're sort of getting. I grew up in a time where I'm getting all this great like comedic stuff, all this great comedy coming from America, even from Britain as well. But you're getting all kind of real popular 90s comedy, and that's sort of juxtaposed with growing up in rural Ireland. That gives you a very sort of unique outlook.
Definitely, yeah.
Because humor is a very big thing in rural Ireland, but it's a very specific type of humor. It's like, oh, but jeez, did you see your man up the road? He's some boy. Hey, you fucking tell you now. Good luck. And it's just that real quick. But it's always around the same kind of subject matter. So when you sort of mesh that together, I guess that's sort of what gave me, if I were to call it my comedic voice, that's probably where it came from.
Stephen, you just put that in my head there. You just mentioned Everybody Loves Raymond there a minute ago.
Piece
what a fucking shit show.
Oh, man, I hated
Holy
it.
fucking
He was
shit.
top paid actor in the world, right? While that was airing.
I wouldn't go as far to say that. Personally, I like that show.
Do you remember it and King of Queens used to always be on?
King of Queens. I don't like King of Queens, but
just
Ray Romano with his completely deadpan, just like that's just like middle America summarized. Everything, his whole life's falling apart.
So mediocre,
and he's
as
just,
well.
But he's just like so like dead faced to it all. It's like, oh yeah, okay. It's like he's just on opiates the whole time. It's just like Ray Romano's on OxyContin. That's why everybody loves him, because he's so mellow. Oh yeah, sure.
I remember you used to watch that shite when you'd put on Comedy Central and you're waiting for South Park to come on. And you had to watch the last 10 fucking minutes of King
that
of
piece
Queens
of shit.
or Everybody Loves
a
Raymond.
lot, yeah. But like even like I was kind of very young when South Park came out. I was very luckily I grew up in the time with the golden age of The Simpsons. So we got so much great American comedy coming over here in the 90s, and then there was the explosion of alternative comedy in Britain in the 90s. Great satire being produced. You got the likes of Brass Eye and the Day to Day, Alan Partridge, so it's just
Alan Partridge, he was the big one.
It's a whole melting pot. Father Ted, there you go.
Jesus.
Perfect example.
I have to kind of stop you there though. You kind of talked about like sort of a great American comedy that was coming over, and you straight away went to The Simpsons and South Park, which I would too. But is there any sort of non-animation American comedy that really spoke to you, like, or that really got into, you're a really big fan of?
As a child, I think. Like Friends was a big one, and Friends is so broad that everyone likes it. It's kind of like, I think the early to mid season of Friends, I think there's some actually it's very well written comedy. It's a hit for a reason. Towards the end though, it's absolutely atrocious. Like the characters are all sort of a parody or caricature of themselves. But like Friends is very big, you know, it just, you turn it on and you watch it. But The Simpsons very influential. Seinfeld is one that I actually really love now, but didn't get into until much later.
Yeah.
But Seinfeld is actually great. If you ever,
What about All in the Family?
no, I'd not. How old do you think I am? All in the Family. Yeah, no, yeah. Sorry.
No, here just as well.
All of the, wait, who is it in All of the Family again? What's the character?
Dad's Army, was that your? That was around your time,
I was
right?
the cameraman at Dad's Army.
Right.
Yeah,
It's Archie Bunker and all.
Archie, but Archie.
That was the main inspiration for Cartman in South Park.
Really?
That's what
Wait,
Matt's-
is it Archie Bunker and he's racist towards his?
But like Matt Stone and Trey Parker said a very good point about Archie Bunker. He couldn't get away with him today. Like if he was on TV nowadays, the stuff he said.
Yeah, now he's the president. Oh, satire. Banter bonus.
No, but just to kind of wrap up on the comedy aspect one. Because,
Terrible.
One again.
Just awful. Go ahead.
Just to wrap up though, and
Yeah.
we're talking near future. Any like plans you see coming up on any
Okay.
goals?
Basically,
Plug it, man.
all right.
Plug it.
Okay. Well,
What's
like
your gigs coming up?
I have no real gigs coming up. Actually, yeah, we have there's a karaoke / comedy night happening this Tuesday night. It's like a fundraising thing.
Oh, great.
I know. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Sign me up.
Yeah.
No.
All right. But no, look, I actually have no gigs. I'm starting to maybe. What I would really love to do is I enjoy stand up. I really do, but I'm not sure it's something. I don't know. I'm sort of questioning whether it's something I could do on a long term basis.
It's not financially.
Because it's not financially, yes, but just sort of that life. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm cut out for it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because another thing about my performance is I've been drunk for every one of my gigs. I haven't done it sober.
You can't.
I can't do it sober.
Physically can't.
Why not?
Because I tell you what, the first gig I did sober, and I was like, I'm not exaggerating. Like it was January. Right, and for the entire night, I was sitting in a cold room in January, and I was sweating buckets. I must be the only guy who can break a sweat by sitting down in January. But I was torrential sweat just pouring down my face. I was shaking, kept running to the bathroom, like, you know, my voice. I finally got up, did the set, but my voice quivered the whole time. It was terrible, and I kind of then the second gig, I was so afraid from the first gig. I had a few drinks. I got up and just killed it, and it was amazing. And I was like, right, shit, found the key.
So you got used to the.
Now I just find that I can't do it, but it's like, and everyone is advising me that's a bad habit and you got to get out of it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people go down a bad road that way.
What's the name of the British stand-up guy who dresses in the school uniform and he always has a pint?
Oh, Al Murray.
Yeah.
But that's a character he plays.
I know,
yeah,
but still.
He's not even like that.
No?
No, he's
All right.
actually very kind of well-spoken and articulate.
Oh, I didn't know
Al
that.
Murray, like the pub landlord, is just a character he plays.
Oh,
like.
fuck, okay.
Yeah. Shatter the illusion of
Yeah.
the racist, homophobic, misogynist idol.
Damn it,
Which
yeah. He was a hero.
To go back to your question, John, the end goal, what I would love to do personally is to kind of write and star in a comedy series.
Like Always
That-
Sunny in Philadelphia.
That, like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, or like the likes of The Office and Extras, where the writers, they sit down, they write the episodes, they star in it themselves, they have full creative control of the content, and they get to, you know, I personally think I would enjoy that a lot more, because it's sort of, you're getting to kind of, you're telling jokes that you've written, but you're also you do an improv, but you don't have that live audience in front of you, kind of ready to judge you if you fuck up. A lot of comedians say that's the part they love the most, is the thrill of the live audience. But I don't know, it's a bit too much for me sometimes.
Like just to give some context to anyone listening, so like the three of us, we're three filmmakers, film students to be more precise. Like, well, hopefully
I work in a petrol station.
Hopefully one day, one to be, you know.
Sorry, John, can you just pull your mic up a bit? I can't really hear you.
Sorry, this fucking mic.
That's a bit better, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, it's gold.
Yeah, look at that.
God damn.
Goddamn
You spared
fucking-
no expense.
Goddamn fucking pimp. Yeah, I was gonna say like,
Now we know why the college is so underfunded.
because like you getting into sort of writing, acting, you know, like it's just sort of
so
skills that we've
true.
learned in our time here being student filmmakers, right? But like I guess like sort of you kind of even touched on Always Sunny in Philadelphia there and shows like that there, the kind of aspirations of yours.
Yeah.
Like what do you think of just the current sort of content of comedy shows now at the moment? I think it's shit, personally, myself.
Really? Because I think it's actually great. I think, like, okay, maybe now we're coming out with, but like we've come out of a time of
the golden age,
great comedy being produced. But like even in this country, like personally, I'm a huge fan of the Hardy Books. Like a lot of people write them off as kind of like stupid one gag lads, but I think they sort of perfectly encapsulated sort of
rural Ireland,
post Celtic Tiger rural Ireland. To go back to what I was saying, that juxtaposition of kind of ye old Ireland and traditional values sort of being corrupted by, you know, the Americanization of Ireland. Yeah. And they sort of, they're the perfect epitome of that, and they satirize it to no end. Definitely. I think they do it brilliantly.
Did you like when they went to RTE? Because I had some friends who were diehards, and they weren't too crazy about the idea of them like selling out. But I liked it.
I liked it. You know, I enjoyed it. Actually, a few friends of mine ended up being extras in it, and I actually was at the rap party of season 2 up in Swinford.
What was that like?
It was great, man. Fucking, I'm telling you, one thing about them boys, man, they can session like it was good crack. But
sort of provided an argument though towards the Hardy Books. Like, could one easily say like the Hardy Books? I could be completely fucking mistaken here, but they've never really sort of been able to break out of Ireland.
That's true, but that's because, you know, the content was so inherently Irish. You know, that's sort of they had made the conscious decision that that's what this show was going to be about. But like we see now, Chris Torduff, he's sort of he's working for RT News now. You know, he's producing some really really funny satire over there. I think
it's a good point you said there though. Like it's kind of the Hardy Books' biggest strength and weakness, the fact that it's inherently Irish. You know,
and you know what? That's the thing about being Irish. In any sort of creative medium, it's a double-edged sword because
definitely. I know what you're going to say. I can finish your sentence for you. Will I try?
No, I'll try. Okay. If you fuck it up, you're so dead.
Okay. So what you were going to say is, if you want to try and make anything creative, it's either the market is so small because it's so specifically for Ireland, but if you try and make it a cross-border thing into maybe the UK or America, it doesn't come off well.
Yeah.
And is that what you're going to say?
Basically, yeah. I was sort of more thinking like. That's when if you do something that's inherently Irish, it'll do well here but nowhere else, right? Okay. And then, as you said, if you try to take it somewhere else, 9 times out of 10 it just won't translate. Or if it does, you have to kind of alter it so much that you sort of it's very
stereotypical.
It's almost very synthesized or kind of what's so contrived. It's very fake, and it loses any sort of sense of honesty, or you know, definitely. If you know what I mean. It's a tough one. Like.
There's one, but I'm sure, but like you said it was 9 times out of 10. The film by the McDonough brothers, The Guard. Yeah, it was. There you go. It hit both.
It did, but really it had Don Cheadle in it, who's like
American
proper Hollywood actor.
I know.
Don Cheadle was great for the audience in the sense because he was able to sort of
be the voice of reason for like, why are you saying this? What does this mean? You know what I mean?
That's true, perfect. And that's very clever. Like they used him. Yeah. He sort of Brendan
Gleeson got nominated for Golden Globe for that, right?
I think he did. Yeah,
and he totally deserved it. I think
great fucking film.
Great film. Yeah, but like they kind of like he sort of did well within Bruges, you know, Colin Farrell, Ralph Fiennes, Brendan Gleeson.
That's the McDonough brothers too, right?
Yeah. Well, see, there's Martin McDonough and there's John McDonough, and I think was it Martin did in Bruges and John did The Guard.
Yeah, that's right. And John did
Calvary. Yeah. And what was the other? Did Martin do 6-shooter?
No, 7 Psychopaths. 7 Psychopaths.
7 Psychopaths. That's right. Yeah. So like they're producing great work. Although one of them, I'm not kind of sure who it is, sort of chastised the Irish Film. Was it the Irish Film Board over something? I don't know. I'm kind of paraphrasing, speaking out of context. Not like he'll ever hear this, but it doesn't matter.
But you lead me to my next
topic. On the off chance that he bumps into me.
You lead me to my next topic anyway. Is like one thing I was just you kind of bringing up there just came into my head is like we're talking about The Guard, we're talking about sort of Irish filmmakers. Yeah. What do you think of like we're all 3 of us here, we're big film fans, we're film students, aspiring filmmakers. What do you think of the Irish film industry at the moment? It's pretty.
That's a very very good question, John.
A very good question.
Thank you, John.
Thank you for putting us in a very precarious position where we may offend the people we may very one day be asking funding from. Yes. I think it's great, personally. I think it's top notch, man. And they're all doing great work there, man. It's just like they're producing such high end content, man. Do you know what I
better
mean?
than Hollywood, like.
It's really is, man. You know, it's like we're getting away from pastiche. This is where art lives. As long as you went to school with my uncle, and you know we'll get a job in RTE, and we went to Trinity, man, and together we'll create some great content. And we don't believe in nepotism whatsoever. And any independent filmmaker can go fuck themselves. Yeah, it's great.
He was being sarcastic.
No, it wasn't. That was genuine.
It could be great though.
It could be.
It could be great.
Could be.
This
but
country
it's,
has potential to be great.
Yeah.
But
it's where it's the independent filmmakers where it lies. Kind of. I think the current studio system that's in place in Ireland is coming to its end, or at least I hope so, because it very much is a nepotistic environment wherein if you know someone, you're sorted. If you don't, fucking hit the bricks. Go make your film, do what you do. That's why you have to look at the likes of, although he sort of operates within the system now, Terry McMahon, when he made Charlie Casanova, he did it completely independently.
Just to
and, that's something that I, respect wholeheartedly.
Just to give some context.
Toured the world, right?
Yeah.
Toured nearly
All over,
every major festival.
Although, having said that, he had worked within the industry prior to that.
Right.
But it's just he
But
became
still.
sort of disenfranchised, frustrated, and when he kind of eventually a few projects got greenlit, but then nothing happened, so he decided to go do it for himself.
That's what I was about to say. Just to give some context to anyone listening, Terry McMahon had a script, which would become Charlie Casanova, but he tried to get that funding for that. Nothing would come, so he funded himself.
Yeah. But again, it is an independent production, but he is still somebody coming from a background who had worked in the industry for at least 10 years, probably more. But the likes of us, we're nobodies.
Yeah.
We are nobodies. Nobody knows who we are. So we're this, it's independent filmmakers like us that try and get something done. And there are just so many hurdles and obstacles to overcome that a lot of people, despite how talented they may be, become incredibly disenfranchised with it, so frustrated that they feel, I can't work within this industry. I don't have the temperament for it, so I'm just they basically just wash their hands of it.
Yeah, but and
that's what happens. That's what happens.
That's our future.
Yeah. Hey.
I had to touch on a point Stephen said there, but Stephen, when we just brought up Casanova, Stephen said there, he toured the world with it. Terry McMahon made that film on a budget of $4,000. Now, I don't think it's a great film, to be honest. I think it's pretty weak, but nonetheless, he made it for $4,000 and got released in every single major film festival on the planet, despite that no Irish film body wanted to fund it.
At all. It's really impressive.
Yeah, it is. It's just crazy. It just goes to show you. But is that just the film industry nowadays? Not only in Ireland but in the world. If you want to get something done, do it your fucking self. So just they're relying on the studio style system.
Well, I don't know. Let's think about it logically here. What are the big Irish films of the past few years? Right. I guess Room. No.
Yeah.
But
Lenny Abramson. Yeah.
It's American
right.
funded as well.
It was American funded though, right?
Yeah.
But he has produced a lot of really great films in this country, though. I mean, there was Adam and Paul, there was Garage. I mean, those were inherently, Irish stories, and they were Irish productions. And he had worked on I don't know, you might be too young to remember. There was a series, a 4-part drama series called Prosperity, which he was behind, and it was fantastic. It was so good.
Was this for RTE?
It was RTE. It was an RTE too. It was just 4 sort of intertwining stories of life in Dublin. Kind of post-Celtic Tiger Dublin. It was actually fantastic. It really kind of was it's definitely a benchmark of drama that had been produced on RT.
What's it called?
Prosperity.
Fuck.
So it's kind of it just came out just before the internet was as intrusive, some might say. But before the internet was just a huge part of everyday life. It was kind of the early to mid 2000s, maybe 04, 05.
Right.
But yeah, 4-part series. If you ever get a chance, I would highly recommend it. And on the back of that, then he sort of, I'm sure he'd been doing other stuff, but then he went on to make the likes of Adam and Paul, and then Garage, and then he kind of branched out and he made Frank, and then that led to Room. And
Frank was okay.
Yeah,
it
but
was all right.
it was
a weird one, but I have to say, I think he gets a done well in the festival scene. But Garage, I actually really enjoyed it.
Garage is fantastic.
It's weird though. I watched it 3 times back to back when I first saw it.
Wow.
No lie, because I was just
you were waiting for him to do the Breakfast Roll song. Yeah, it's like, when's he gonna sing it? Come on.
I was
probably too young to get that reference. Never mind.
No, I do know that reference.
The older folks will get that. Oh, boy, that's a funny one.
What is Garage? I never heard of it.
It's Pat Short.
Pat Short, who gives a fantastic performance.
It's pretty good. He plays a fellow named Josie, and he lives in the middle of nowhere, and he lives in a garage that he runs himself. He lives in the garage, and it just sells petrol and diesel.
Yeah, he's he obviously has some sort of learning difficulties, or he's mentally challenged in some way. But it was a great.
He's simple.
Yeah,
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it's a good way.
And sorry, Lenny Aberson.
Oh no!
This is the PC police. We have you surrounded.
I'm sorry.
Did Lenny Aberson direct it, write it?
Yeah, I think he wrote it and directed it,
he
didn't
did,
he?
yeah.
I think so. See, this is where Wikipedia come in
You
handy.
can Google it. Google it, John.
Go on, give it a wee Google there. But pull it up, yeah.
Garage.
We have a screen, but you know the thing about his character, he obviously clearly has a learning difficulty of some kind, but you get the sense that he has never been diagnosed, and he's sort of just considered, as you would have said, simple. That's just what the others Joe say, he's simple. That was like such a huge problem, like, you know, mental health
with a lot
being
of people.
Undiagnosed in this country for years.
No one talks about it. Everyone ignores it.
You know, I'm kind of saying that as if it's, you know, we're now as if it's changed.
But
it hasn't fucking changed.
No, not really.
It's terrible.
But
the mental health service in this country is just a joke.
Yeah, okay, we'll get to that. But sorry. No, but what you were saying, James, about in terms of how it's, you know, people just sort of like didn't want to talk about it or didn't look at it. But we're talking maybe 30, 40 years, maybe, James. Would this be correct? And people would be like, oh, it's the devil.
Yeah. Oh, I was wrong. It was actually written by Mark O'Halloran from Adam and Paul. So they've collaborated together a good bit, himself and Lenny Abrahamson. Saying these names as if I know these people
firsthand.
Yeah, they're going to be listening. Oh, James gave me a shout out on the podcast there. What a good chap. I don't even know if he talks like that, man. To be
Definitely
honest.
don't.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I've never seen an interview with him now.
No. That's how exclusive he is. We're not even allowed to watch interviews of him.
Only makes me more interested in him.
Yeah, he's an enigma. His Wikipedia page doesn't even have a picture. My God.
That's how just poorly updated he is. Like, this is like a director of an Academy Award nominated Best Picture film who doesn't have a picture.
I'd imagine that's by design.
You think so?
Yeah, I bet you every day he just sits on Wikipedia waiting for somebody to upload a picture. Nope, delete. Lenny, we're still rolling. I'm doing something. They're putting my picture on Wikipedia, and I will not stand for it.
That's right, because the Wikipedia picture has to be a natural picture, right? It can't be a model picture. It has to be someone talking on the fly.
You know,
do you think Lenny Aberson is listening to us right now, James? And he's like, wow.
I definitely think
these three.
I know that he isn't.
really respect us. Respect me.
Well, I do. Yeah, I definitely do respect him.
We do.
Yeah, but doesn't mean we can't. We can't. It doesn't mean we can't have a little giggle at his behalf. You know.
I suppose so.
It's because we're like, you know, we're on the lower tier of society.
And film students or film industry people are hateful, whether we like
Very
it or not.
Bitter, cynical,
terrible people.
Just like
the worst people I know are
narcissistic, self-righteous
film students, filmmakers.
Yeah, we're scum.
Pieces of shit.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want a real job. No, I just want to. Can I press the button on the thing and then you make it go all and then I get the money? Please, because I don't want to work. Yeah.
Sounds like.
But then, you know, we dress it up and we sort of, with film academia, it's like,
well, it's actually a very cerebral piece of intellectual property, and, you know, we're actually challenging society here in very tactful ways.
Really look at it.
No, I don't want to work. I just want to push the button and make the pictures. Can I have my money, please?
Guys,
sorry, filmmakers, but that's what you are. That's what you all are.
Speaking of us being pieces of shit, I don't know, this doesn't have anything to do with it, but I saw Logan the other day.
Oh, seen it last night.
Is that the film about the guy who needs a pair of nail clippers? Oh!
Yeah, no, Jesus
We'll
Christ.
Cut that out. Let's cut that one out. That didn't land.
We're not cutting anything.
Stephen, I had to just getting you brought up, Logan, because just myself and you were two massive Dark Knight fans. Is it on the level of the Dark Knight?
Oh shit. We're having this.
Oh no!
We're having this conversation.
Oh no!
Was it that
Okay.
good?
Hey,
Did you cry?
Okay. Everyone, shut up. All right. Okay.
You wouldn't tell Lenny to shut up.
No, I wouldn't. He's a hero. Okay. I've only seen it once, so I don't feel comfortable having this conversation right now, John. Okay. I'm gonna go see it again probably tomorrow, but I cried twice, and I didn't cry anytime I watched Dark Knight, so
Or
I don't know what that means.
I'm taking my.
I was kind of baked too when I saw it. A little bit, so.
I'm taking my mum to it. You should come with.
He's got
you should come with
glaucoma.
my mum. The three of us watch it and see because
Get her thoughts on it.
Yeah, I thought Stephen. I thought it was pretty fantastic.
It was fucking great.
I really did because I remember when me and you we were together when we seen the trailer for initially, and the first thing that me and you said was, "This doesn't look like a typical sort of superhero film." I know that's something that keeps being thrown around about the film, but just the way it was presented, the way the story was written, the way it was advertised, it was really nearly advertised as very nearly art piece in the sense. Like even
Definitely.
the title was simply Logan. It was in normal plain font.
Yeah.
You know.
It looked like a drama. Let's just be real. It looked like a drama, and it basically was.
Yeah,
it was a drama.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
And I couldn't be happier about that.
Okay.
Oh,
And to be honest,
that's actually a very brave move.
It
I
is.
have to commend the filmmakers for
James Mangold's the director.
you know, for taking, that's like this franchise is known for action-packed, special effects laden superhero action.
being PG-13, so
Yeah.
everyone, kids and all that, can go see it.
It's
So
not-
make a lot of money. But no, this one is rated R.
Yeah.
It's fucking serious. It's a drama, but
It's interesting that, the entire time that franchise was being produced and it was all PG-13, let's make it safe, wholesome family entertainment. The entire time, the person at the helm was a fucking pedophile.
Oh, Bryan Singer.
Bryan Singer, yeah.
Yeah,
and
hold
now
on,
they,
James. These are just accusations. These are rumors that have not been proven in the
well,
court
they
of
haven't
law.
been proven by all the people that have come forward and said, yeah, he fucked me, and I didn't want him to.
I don't know. Look,
back to Logan. Okay. We're going way down the rabbit hole here of Bryan Singer.
do we just
being a
spoil?
pedophile.
Here. Do we just spoil it out now?
No. We couldn't do that to our
Yeah.
precious
You
two.
scum!
Our precious
That's
two
worse than
viewers.
Bryan Singer.
Two viewers listening at home.
The whole time he was ripping, I was like, don't worry, I won't tell you the end. What? Are you still keeping your we don't cut anything rule?
Maybe
Yes.
might have to change that now.
Maybe.
How much do you
But
regret
just-
having me on that?
It's just Stephen, right? I have to ask,
Not
right?
a lot, but kind of a lot.
I have to ask, right? Just so I get your sort of thoughts on it. Is this better than? I'm going to list off superhero films. I need to know if it's better than them, right?
Okay, I can do it right now. Okay, go.
Is this
go,
better
go.
than X-Men 2?
Yes.
Is it better than Spider-Man 2?
No.
I agree there. Is it better than The Dark Knight?
No.
So, is it better than Fantastic Four 2 Rise of the Silver Surfer?
God, no. Come on.
Yeah, no, it's kind
Had a
of
Silver Surfer
it's kind
in
of
it.
strange because just hear me out here, right? Just nowadays, film has become so commercialized, right? And this year alone, we're getting 7 fucking superhero films. It used to be one every summer. And it's kind of like all these upcoming superhero films, like the Justice League film, the fucking Wonder Woman film, they look just like shit. They just look so...
Sad.
Yeah,
Because
so...
it's a woman. Is that it, John?
No, it's just...
Misogynist scum.
No, just once fucking Zack
Piece of
Snyder
shit,
is
John.
involved in any of those...
Oh yeah, I have to agree with you on that. Zack
Yeah.
Snyder can fuck off,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
But like... And
He directed Watchmen, right?
That's right,
Watchmen
yeah.
was great.
Yeah.
Give me that.
No.
No.
No. I will not
good,
give
not
you that.
great. Good, not great. I
Good,
think.
not great. I will say good, not great.
Almost great.
I liked it. It could have been great. It could have been one of the best ones, I think.
The extended cut's very good now.
See,
3.5 hour one.
sticking to the source material, the graphic novel by Alan Moore.
Yeah, I read it. It was good.
know.
I don't
Like
read.
he-
I don't ever read. So
Those are
was
mostly
great.
pictures. I don't think you can.
But
You can't really go. Well, I very rarely.
but the point
yeah, okay, man.
the point I was going to raise was this here, right? So just say like you have these seven superhero movies this
What's
year,
the last
right?
book you read? It's a comic book.
The Watchmen.
Big one.
Don't feel. It's very big. Don't feel.
Sorry,
Don't
John.
be intimidated.
Sorry,
Sorry,
James.
yeah.
No.
Come on. Piece of shit.
You interrupted.
John.
No, you just said like you have 7 upcoming seven superhero movies this year, right?
Yeah.
Like, and naturally, the argument would be right. This is too much of the one genre that we're getting. But if all 7 of them were the quality that Logan is at, would we be complaining?
That's a good question.
Probably not. But the thing is,
They're not.
they're not going to be, and you already know that. I mean,
Yeah.
just look at Batman vs Superman and Suicide Squad. Just
Sorry.
but the thing is, like the billions. Okay, no, millions. Sorry, I was being.
What?
But they're multi-million-dollar films.
Batman vs Superman made $1 billion, right? Double check. I think it did.
But
yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
The amount of money that goes into it and then
The
comes out of it.
budget was like 200 million. Yeah,
But
yeah.
and that's that. Like they just put no effort into it whatsoever. It's literally. It is. I mean, you think of that old South Park episode where they go, "Whatever, fuck you, you'll pay to go see it." I don't think that's ever
So
been more
true.
relevant
Yeah.
than with those films. Like, well, it's
Yeah.
going to churn out any old piece of shit.
Once there's
it's going to break box office records. Go fuck yourself. Give me your money, please. That's it.
Once there's 1 or 2 big known actors, it will sell.
Yeah.
And everyone knows the characters now. So
Yeah, and like every time, sort of, gone are the days in this genre where you have like a director who has something to say. Like, I mean, what was the director of Ant-Man?
Beautiful.
Who was the director of Ant-Man? He didn't want to go along with what Marvel was doing. He was the director of Hot Fuzz.
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright was directing
Yeah.
Ant-Man originally,
and he dropped out, right?
Yeah, because he wouldn't follow company lines. Marvel wanted him to do. Edgar Wright wanted to do his own thing, and Marvel wanted them to do his thing.
Wait, why would Marvel have any say in a Batman film? Do you
Oh
mean
no, it
DC?
was I'm
Ant-Man.
just talking-
He said.
Ant-Man.
I thought he said
Oh.
Batman too.
Sorry.
No,
I
yeah.
apologize.
But like when you look at Spider, in my opinion, the best superhero films, Spider-Man to The Dark Knight, like these were films where Sam Raimi, Christopher Nolan, fantastic filmmakers. Just-
Total creative control.
Yeah.
That's where the line is being drawn now. Me and John were talking about this the other day, James. I want to see what you think about how basically nowadays the executive producer has a lot more power than the producer and somewhat the director.
That's true.
They're paying the bills, so they're like, you know what? No, you know what? You want to do this, Christopher Nolan? No, fuck you. We want to sell toys, so why don't you have this? It's-
Yeah, we need
it makes sense. you
we
know?
need Batman to wear his armor because we can release a
toy.
Batman armor
Exactly.
toy.
Yeah. But
That's-
that's the problem with like a franchise. Like it's got the film is only the beginning. It's what can come afterwards. That's where they really make their money. Kind of George Lucas was the first one to cash in on that, and pretty much every superhero franchise or any franchise really, especially that within the sort of fantasy realm or genre, they capitalize on that at every opportunity. And that's the thing. And for a long time, or for the most part, the films didn't really suffer. They would still put a lot into it. But now they kind of come to the understanding we don't really need to put too much work because these people will still pay and come to see it.
And as well as that, just going back to like these directors, I think they understood sort of adapting comic books to film. There's certain stuff that worked in a comic book that will never work on screen. Like for prime example is Christopher Nolan knew it'd be ridiculous if you had Bruce Wayne build a car that would become the Batmobile. It makes more sense that it's a former army vehicle he just simply takes and paints black. Same with Sam Raimi and the web shooters he got rid of from Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think as well you kind of miss. You really need that. Like same with like Bryan Singer, he got rid of all the X-Men costumes. It would have not worked on screen.
No.
So like you need like it's just simpler. Like they're wearing these black outfits. That
Look cool.
Yeah. There you go. So like it's you need directors like that there who aren't afraid to take risk with these franchises that people love. So we have too many directors nowadays who are sort of catering to this large comic book audience who are always going to see the film no matter what. They may as well take these risks, may as well take these chances, do something bold with the material,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Just on top of all this, with Logan, I was watching a great interview with Hugh Jackman, and he's basically talking about how this is his last one, and he actually got the advice from Jerry Seinfeld. It was basically, you can do an impression of Jerry Seinfeld.
Kind of. What did he say?
Oh, it's your last one.
Your last one. Yeah. We're doing this now with the Wolverine and everything. I mean,
And the killing.
You got the claws. You got the adamantium claws. And you know how painful that is.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
It's
I
not the
set
best.
you up, but
Yeah,
it's
you
fine.
did.
It's
You did.
kind
You
of-
kind of put me on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of called me out there.
that's
so.
funny.
What did Seinfeld say?
He basically he just heard it. What do you mean? What did he say? He just heard it.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
He basically talked Hugh Jackman out of basically. He's like, yeah, all right, you still have love for the character. This is your last one. Give it your all. And it was great to hear that Hugh Jackman literally went to what's the director's name?
James Mangold.
And literally said, look, will you do this one with me, please? Because he trusted him. And he said, get a good script. We're going to do a rated R.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll pitch to the studio, and they went for it.
It's interesting.
So it's really respectable. Like.
It's interesting that trust because James Mangold made his X-Men directorial debut with the Wolverine, and the Wolverine.
The origins.
No,
one?
no, Jesus, thank God.
Who
no.
did the orange? Who did the orange?
Oh, let me Google.
Oh,
Google
it was
that.
garbage, man.
It was just so bad.
So bad, like. I remember watching that. I was high and it was still shit.
Well, yeah.
High in life.
Coke?
It is directed by
Oh, why would I take coke and watch a film?
Gavin Hood. Never even heard of Gavin Hood.
Who?
Gavin Hood. Never heard of him.
I don't know.
But James Mangold did Wolverine. And don't get me wrong, Wolverine is a massive mile step up from Origins.
Scroll
but
down, John. Let me see how much it made. Oh my god.
Not well, really.
No, just double its money.
Yeah.
150 million.
Well,
it made.
they say with big budget films, see the budget, you have to double it for advertisement. So
No way.
so it's
That
100
can't be right.
Yeah, so it's 150 million. So when you think of all the advertisements that
They wouldn't have spent 150 million on advertising, would they? No way.
It's hard to say. It's a big film, you know.
I mean, they advertise all over the world, like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Billboards, talk shows.
Suppose. Yeah.
Just even making trailers cost money, you know.
How much is it again for 30 seconds for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I was
ad
just
slot?
thinking about that.
Google
like,
that. I think it's $1 million.
I think it is $1 million for
Yeah.
a 30-second slot
Yeah.
during the Super Bowl.
That actually doesn't seem that much. I mean, you've 30 seconds for when there's like, what, 200 million people watching.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
It's probably increased now, I'd say. We're going off the rails.
There's
here,
the
like.
dare.
4.5 million.
Jesus Christ. That's fucking.
Holy shit.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, but Logan, like, it's just interesting because, like, James Mangold, it's a massive step up from the Wolverine. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the Wolverine. It's not great. It's good. It passes your time. But, like, fucking hell, Logan was just on a whole different level. Like, it's
Great.
a proper send off, really, isn't it? Like, because
I'm so happy.
yeah, because you couldn't really, like, to be honest, like, just from the past two Wolverine standalone films, it'd be really disappointing if Hugh Jackman ended his Wolverine career on such a disappointing low.
Bad taste in the mouth. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great now. It's
Yeah, because I remember after watching Days of Future Past, I was like, oh, that's a good way to end the franchise. And, you know, there's been 3 X-Men films since. I know Deadpool is Deadpool, but it exists within the X-Men universe. Apocalypse and now Logan. And
It was alright, Deadpool.
yeah, Deadpool was good.
I liked it.
I
Yeah.
personally, I have no time. Like, I know this is probably a controversial thing to say. I don't like superhero films
At
or
all.
comic book movies or anything like that.
Not even The Dark Knight.
Okay, that's an exception. That is an exception.
What about
But, like,
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man 2.
no.
Oh, give it another watch, man.
No.
Give it another watch, man. You haven't lived till you love Spider-Man 2.
That's
What?
true.
Oh, what?
It's just a masterpiece.
Yeah, it is, man.
I don't know. I could never really.
That's fair enough.
They're not for me. Like, you know, I prefer a story that I can engage with personally. Like,
But
I can't. You know, I empathize with this character with a 6-pack swinging across a building. Yeah, we're the same guy.
By no means, Stephen.
He's got a beautiful girl in his arm and he's fighting crime. Yeah, this is my
totally
guy. This is my life right
But
here.
I know.
This protagonist I can empathize with.
I know
so
for me
much.
and Stephen, we really enjoyed the spectacle of it, though. Like, you know,
As a kid, I loved it, but like
Yeah.
I think, you know, like people in their 30s and 40s like going mad over it, just like
That's like you're talking about like more than half the capital of of the market of these movies.
I know.
So
And look, I get that there's a nostalgic element to it, but
yeah.
I don't know. Look, maybe it's just my
I think
bitter
it's-
cynicism that
it's-
I could never engage
But
with. It.
you have to admit, like, where the whole interest came from was like, you know, people maybe mightn't have too exciting lives, you know, and like they see this guy and they can sort of escape, you know.
Well,
for
that's
an
true.
hour,
Look
2
here, I
hours.
understand. Escapism is.
You know what I mean?
I would defend escapism to a certain point because I think people that have hard jobs and they work, you know, they have maybe difficult lives, escapism serves a purpose.
Definitely.
I would agree with that. That's why I'm still okay with Adam Sandler making films. I was like,
Oh,
come on.
So James, you're like, it's kind of crazy, just to change topic a bit, but you're the first ever guest we've had on
Yeah, what's it? The
Banana Kingdom. Yeah,
'cause
Banana Kingdom podcast, episode 1 right here.
101.
Yeah, it's you know, like we've done an
It's a
episode.
dubious honor, really. Thank you for having me.
We did a wee test episode. We'll probably release soon, but yeah, and it's great. No, it's great to have you as the first guest.
So
you know?
go on, let's hit me with something. Like, give me something real. Let's go on. Tell me, you before we came on air. You said one thing we have to agree to is total honesty. So let's if that's the rule, if you're setting that precedent, then make use of it. I would say
yeah, I
would
guess.
you do a guy?
no.
Is it okay to say that in 2017? I don't think it is.
Not for 10 grand. If I count 10 grand, it'd suck my dick.
10 grand to suck your dick.
Yes.
No, I don't think so. But
20.
20.
We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, it'd almost be homophobic for me to not do it, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? Wait, do I have to swallow?
Yes.
Ah, okay. All right. Could I request that maybe you eat a lot of fruit that day, like strawberries or something?
No,
So-
I must be wearing sweaty boxers beforehand.
Donald Trump, right? He's a piece of shit. Okay, we're just going to change the topic. All right.
Yeah, Trump.
25 grand.
It's kind of crazy. Like we're actually just speaking of Trump, we're 3 months into the Trump administration, and I haven't noticed a change at all, other than his tweets.
To be honest, I've started before we shot the show. I knew we'd probably be talking some politics, so I started like watching some. What do you call it? The Young Turks? You know those guys?
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
They're
Big fan of them,
Cenk
yeah.
Uygur.
Yeah, they're pretty good. But and just to try and get up in current affairs, and I was actually listening to Alex Jones.
Oh,
He's funny, man. He's funny.
Yeah, man.
I like him.
I like him too.
I fucking like
but only
him.
because I enjoy all that shit. And I am like, I enjoy conspiracy theories.
I am so sold on like nearly all of them, man. I just
Really,
love it.
yeah?
I love it. Well, like no, I mean,
you have to. There needs to be a certain degree of logic, though. You gotta like.
Right.
I can look at something and think that does make sense, but then when they start going, yeah, and the Illuminati and reptiles, I'm like, nah, I'm out.
okay,
Fuck
just,
that. No way.
just stop there.
yeah.
no, like we're see with Jones. Like I find Jones very entertaining.
I
but
love
don't
him.
put
Very entertaining.
But
I think
you
it's
gotta give
so
him that.
funny.
But some of the stuff he says is just ludicrous.
It's
Like,
mental.
We
like,
just
it's actually mad.
we watched the Joe Rogan podcast there recently,
That-
and Alex Jones said
But,
that.
sorry, by the way, that's the highest viewed podcast ever. You know that?
No way.
Ever, yeah,
No
by
way.
a mile.
Well, on
and
the-
it's only been 2 weeks.
Yeah, on that he said that interdimensional beings led by Satan want to turn the human species into robots that rape kids. And it's like, what are you talking about? What the fuck?
So he literally said, right, the people controlling Earth live on a moon off Mars.
Yeah,
right?
He said
There's like a huge like what is it? He said the thing
But
from.
this is the thing. I
2000
want to
he
believe him
said
because
he said it's a fucking
from
the thing-
2001 Space Odyssey.
he
It's
said,
real. It exists.
Oh, what is a monolith?
Yeah,
He said
the
a monolith's real. Oh, he's such like the stuff he says, man.
All right, so okay,
I want to believe it.
let's
though.
go back. All right, so look,
me
obviously
some evidence,
he's got
Alex
his
Jones.
he's got his mad shit. What do you believe? What does he say?
The gay frogs.
Well,
Turn on the frogs, gay. Chill out. That was my Alex Jones. Did you like that?
Oh, when he said that, the US government are turning frogs gay so they can turn the population gay. Population control. It's like, what are you talking
really
about?
the way to do it? We'll make the frogs gay, and somehow that will make the people gay. What kind of relationship does he think that the government think people have with frogs? Like, hey, I got this frog. He's gay, so I'm gay now. So
But,
where's the logic there? Do you know what I mean?
something to do with the water supply, I assume. I would have to assume.
He's kind of bringing up a lot of points about Pizzagate recently, though, which is interesting.
Very good points.
Pizzagate is
Yeah.
interesting. That's a fucking dark rabbit hole.
Sorry,
there.
that's where we're going with Trump. Someone said, who was I talking to? Or I was just listening to Alex Jones' show, yeah, and he said, Trump has only been in office 2 months, and 2,000 pedophiles have been thrown in jail. That seems like progress.
Yeah, that was just the administration, though. That's just a restaffing of the Congress.
Yeah, but progress all the same. But like you have to admit, I think it was pretty funny the way the world seriously overreacted to Trump's election. Am I the only one?
Well,
I
well,
don't.
no, I
No,
thought-
look. I have a point to make. Everyone.
All right.
Okay, I feel like it's important. Okay. Like I don't really like him. I don't really agree with like his policies or anything like that. But I just felt like the whole world was like, "Oh my God, we're gonna fucking," And my mom doesn't know anything about politics, and I know a bit. And she asked me, "She was like, oh my God, Stephen, what's gonna happen? Are we, is he gonna start World War III?" And I'm just like, "Look, no, okay. Like I mean, the Americans and the powers that be, they just want to keep things the same, right? Am I wrong in saying that? Like, I mean, they just want to keep
And
it
Stephen, I have a question for you, right? Because hold on, I'm the exact
Wait,
same.
were you finished your point?
Oh, sorry.
I think so. Yeah.
All right.
So I was going to say, look, the reason things are going to stay the same is because it's a puppet position. Let's be real here.
Yeah, it is.
Nothing ever fucking changes.
I mean, like,
But
That's not what the real power
But
is.
that's what I'm saying,
No,
though.
not at all.
There seems to be a lot of changes with him, straight away now. Like, I don't know if they're good or bad, but
But like, yeah, it's all right. He can like, but that's the thing. They can make changes that sort of, it only ever.
Sorry, you're distant. Sorry.
I'm too distant.
You're too close.
I'm too close.
that's fine then.
People tell me that all the time. You know that.
Sorry.
Just waiting at a bus stop. You're too close.
Sorry, the reason I said just for a few,
Mom!
just for
God, it's awful.
just for viewers, this is just episode 1, so we're still ironing out some technical
Yeah, we're
issues.
ironing out. They're gonna have a proper guest next week, so don't worry.
I wouldn't get your hopes
Wait,
up.
what the fuck was I talking? Maybe I'll be back.
I don't know what you're going to. What were you going to say again?
What were we talking
Something about
about?
you being a piece of shit. Or Trump. Something to do with Trump.
Yeah. No, well, you said he's making a lot of changes. I think he'll make changes that will only. I think it's the same with kind of any president. They'll make changes that only affect people sort of in a lower income housing and maybe even middle class. Like, the social elite will never be altered because at the end of the day, because of
Too much
political
control.
lobbyists and stuff like that, that's what dictates the level of control and power and wealth in America. Lobbyists, like you have the likes of Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Stanley, they contribute literally millions to the US presidential campaign. And when the person gets into office, they come knock on the door, hey, remember all that money we owed you? Well, now, financial deregulation, please. Okay, let's cause another fucking economic global recession.
For anyone to refute that is completely illogical.
But for me,
think about it.
I'll say that, and people go, "You're a conspiracy theorist. You're a nut job." It's like, take a fucking look around you.
It is public record. Like, this isn't a conspiracy. Like, Goldman Sachs gave Hillary Clinton $50 million. They're not doing that because they like her.
No.
It's like, oh yeah, she seems like a woman fighting for women's rights. No,
if that's one thing old rich white men want is a woman telling them what to do. Yeah, of course. But no, it's because then they can.
It's common sense.
It basically facilitates the deregulation of the financial sector, which then allows them to be as corrupt and embezzle as much money as possible. Then you have the likes of hedge funds schemes and all that shit. Basically, that's what led to the last financial crash that we saw. That's a very, very simplified view of it. Obviously,
it's correct,
you
though.
can't go into the. Well, I can't go into the particulars because I don't know. I've watched a documentary on YouTube, man. It totally altered my perception. So I fucking know what's going on now, man. I know I'm coming across like that. But, to an extent, it's true. Like, you have to just examine the disproportionate amount of the wealth inequality and class inequality and, racial inequality. Of course it's true.
I have somewhat of a theory about what's happening in the world right now. I mean, you can refute it all you want, whether... Some people think that, racism is the biggest thing to tackle right now. Some people think it's sexism, right? But I would argue that it's fucking classism.
Absolutely.
It is the rich against everyone else.
And you know what?
And if anyone says that the other things are more important, they're fucking ridiculous.
But the thing about those...
Obviously, they are important. I'm not saying that.
They are important, but
that's
those...
the big thing that's
They've all sort of... They're a trickle-down effect from
Definitely.
classism. And, it's sort of classism that leads to racism and homophobia, misogyny, Islamophobia, wealth inequality, because what that does is it just takes it takes a large population and divides them into little sections,
so they won't come together.
Exactly.
Divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer. That's like it's as old as time.
Sun Tzu say in the art of war.
That was the Roman strategy, right?
Yeah,
with
divide and
the
conquer.
British. The British famously did that as well when they were colonizing nations. Was to split up the tribes and simply divide and conquer.
And and again, if you were to say that to somebody and they turn around and call you a conspiracy theorist or whatever, and again, I realize it's a very simplistic, interpretation of it, but it rings true to a certain extent. I think, maybe we'll leave it at that with that. How about, or do you want to?
Definitely.
I think on that happy note, I think we're going to
end. I wasn't saying we ended. I'm just saying,
well, no, we're kind of going to be kicked out of here now in the next 10 minutes. It's 5:20.
All right, one last
hurrah.
Yeah, one last thing.
Well, James, to be honest, I guess to go back to bring this podcast full circle and go back to the comedy.
Comedy, yes.
Yeah.
To be honest,
what does it mean to be a comedian?
Loneliness. You're alone a lot of the time.
That's so funny. That's hilarious.
You sit in your room and you write jokes alone. And then you get in your car and you drive to the gig alone. You get up on stage and you're alone. You come off the stage and you're alone. You go back into your car, drive home alone. Sit in your bedroom.
2 questions, right?
That's you.
That's me. Well, that's my life.
2 questions.
funny.
You don't get paid.
No, I don't know.
Then why do it?
Have you ever gotten paid for any gig?
Owen's Bar are very good to us. They will usually throw us a bit of money at the end of the night just to cover the costs of comedians that have traveled.
Sound.
That's the only gig I've ever encountered that I've never been paid otherwise. Why do it? Because I enjoy it, and because it's something that, all arrogance aside, I'm still starting off. There is so much room for improvement, but I feel it's something that, for the first time in my life, at 27 years old, for the first time in my life, it's something that I feel that I'm actually good at, and that's a nice feeling to have. So that's why I continue to do it, and I enjoy it. And look,
That's beautiful.
I think you could dedicate your life to worse things than trying to make people laugh. You know,
Definitely.
I think, when you make someone laugh, it's like you're seeing them you see them at their best, essentially. When you make someone laugh, that's, and they see you at your best because you're being funny. So that's all I could ever really contribute to a social setting. So I guess it's all right.
Do you think everyone should try it?
No.
Definitely not. No. Definitely.
I think everyone, and again, this is just arrogance, but look, not even, like, when you see it on stage, it's horrific. It's absolutely heart-wrenching when someone gets up and it's clear from the first word out of the mouth, they should not be doing this. When you see that, there is nothing more painful. But, like, have you ever been at a party and somebody's, like, cracking jokes and they're just not funny, but you feel obligated to laugh, and it's just painful?
It's the worst thing
It's
ever.
the worst thing. But imagine that. It's just like, but that's just at a party when people are just sort of being themselves. When you get up on stage and say, I'm a comedian, you basically have a megaphone saying, hey, everyone, listen to how funny I am. There is a level of arrogance and narcissism and delusion to it.
There has to be, though.
There has to be, of course.
I think so.
But then there are those people that are too delusional, that don't realize they're not at all funny. They should not try it. It's painful for them, and it's painful for everyone watching.
See what you were saying about how comedians need a bit of arrogance.
Yeah.
That's why I think. That's why I fucking love, like, 8 out of 10 Cats, man, or Never Mind the Buzzcocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is, because you have, like, usually 6 comedians, and, like, it's kind of, they're all trying to.
Yeah, they're all trying to outdo each other, like,
almost,
yeah,
you know what I mean? But it's always great, you know.
You'd hate to be on that show. You'd hate to be the weak link, because you can always spot the weak link, and it's just like,
definitely.
But then they bring on those guests that are there because they're not funny, and we're here to laugh at them. You get, like, Joey Essex on,
Exactly,
and it's all like, hey, look at this guy, he's an idiot. That's like bullying, like, it's like
He doesn't give a fuck. He's a millionaire.
That's true, yeah.
So
yeah.
I wouldn't give a fuck about that.
Well, guys, we're going to have to end this episode because we're about to get kicked out of this room now in the next 5 minutes. I was going to say, this has been Banana Kingdom episode 1.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Stephen, for having me. Banana Kingdom.
For life.
For life. Yeah.
Well, folks, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. See you next time.
Peace.